And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Insight on Business. My name is Michael Libby. This is powered by our advertising agency, Insight Advertising, Marketing, and Communications, and brought to you live each and every Monday at 8:45 here at Webcast One Live. It's made possible by our friends at FWRSA, tax and accounting professionals that'll work hard for you until the cows come home. Our guest in studio right now is Chris Bergman. Chris is the owner of CabTrans. And he came to become the owner of CabTrans because of some lousy experiences in the taxi cab industry here in the city of Des Moines. Christopher, before we left, we were talking about some of the rules and regulations. There are several that the city of Des Moines requires to operate cabs in the city. And did you meet all? And when did you physically start your business?
Well, we actually started in March of 2012.
All right.
And we started in the suburbs because we weren't qualified. We didn't meet the minimum car requirement.
And you have to have 5 cars in the city.
Yeah, you have to own 5 vehicles and 6 drivers, and 4 of those vehicles has to be available 24/7.
Okay.
According to Des Moines.
Okay. So you didn't meet the 5 car requirement at the time. You could have, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I could have. I could have went out and and went to an auction and bought a half a dozen salvage titles or ex-police cars or whatever. But that's just really not what I was interested in. The kind of service I was interested in providing was the kind of service I was looking to find. And
that you didn't. I didn't. Failed on several occasions.
I mean, I could get a town car. I could get a stretched Hummer if I was willing to write the check.
Right.
But folks, I really I don't need somebody to stand out on the curb in front of Centros in a 3-piece suit and say, "Hey, I'm waiting for Mr. Bergman. Him and his wife are in there having dinner." I didn't need that. What I wanted was a safe, reliable, professional driver to pick me up in a clean vehicle. I didn't care if it was a Chevy Impala with leather interior or a town car or a Chrysler 300 or a minivan. Just pick me up in something clean that doesn't smell like, somebody didn't feel so well in it last time they were in it, with a driver that, somewhat at least dressed appropriately and acted like they appreciated my business. Just a little courtesy.
So you had several consumer-oriented things that you wanted to meet.
Right. And I just based it off of what I wanted.
What you wanted.
What I wanted. And I thought, well, I can't be the only one that would like to be able to sit down in a car in a, $35 pair of pants or a $5,000 suit and not worry about what am I sitting in,
right?
And not worried about, is my wife going to feel comfortable with this driver? Could I send this driver to the high school to pick up my teenage daughter with confidence, knowing everything's going to be all right? She's not going to be inappropriately spoke to or gawked at or whatever, So
those kinds of things were important to you. So in March of 2012, you launched CabTrans.
Right. We just started one car.
One car.
Give it a try.
We have to make this clear. That's a year and 2 months ago, approximately.
Yeah.
A year and 2 months ago. So 14, 15 months ago, you started CabTrans, one car. Mm-hmm. How many vehicles do you have now?
5.
You have 5 vehicles.
5 now. We probably should have 10, but, our business model is to not end up on your story like earlier with our numbers not being right according to our mortgages.
So it's one of those things that you're going to ease into.
We're going to grow, but we're going to do it according to our budget.
That's an excellent growth projection, though. I mean, if you went from 1 car to 5 cars in a year, that's pretty amazing. What's been the difference? What has driven this to that success?
Well, I don't really have any actual data that I can quote you for that, but the bottom line of it is, in my gut feeling, in my opinion, we have about a 90+% repeat customer. If you go out there because of whatever experience you've had or whatever reason you're in town and you're not located inside the city limits of Des Moines, you can call CabTrans and we'll come get you. You can call us 24 hours in advance, 6 months in advance. And if we make an appointment with you, we'll keep it. Most of our reviews will verify that.
Yeah.
Now, we did go through a little bit of a glitch about 30 days ago. We use an outside company that does all of our database and all of our software that we use for our GPS tracking and everything else, and they went through an upgrade, and we lost about 3 customers during that, and it was horrifying on our reviews. We sent out, apology letters and coupons if you want to try us again. We totally apologize, but, growing pains are going to happen.
Sure.
We're not perfect. We're just a small company, but we try and we care.
Yeah. So what sets Cabtrans apart from the other? You got clean cabs, courteous drivers.
Clean cabs. All our cabs have leather interior.
Really?
There's a couple of reasons for that. One is I personally like to sit down in leather. 2, as an owner of that vehicle, these vehicles go through a complete detail and germination cleaning every 12 hours.
Really?
Our shifts are done every 12 hours, and so all of our cabs are completely clean, top to bottom, inside and out, and wiped down with Lysol disinfectant every single 12 hours of every shift. And the reason for that is, like now, you hear I'm a little bit coarse, a little bit hoarse. I have cold. If we have 3 or 4 or 5 customers in our car throughout the day, we don't want to spread that to the other 3 or 4 or 5
Sure.
customers at night.
Sure.
So it's easier to keep clean. It just is.
And I think it was you. You picked up my son.
I did pick up Aaron,
and
it was great. I
and
enjoyed
he
it.
was just shocked. You rolled up in a Chrysler 300. He said,
I actually apologized to him for not having an ex-cop car. I said, I'm sorry, I don't have an ex-cop car, but I hope this will do. It's the same price.
Yeah, and he was pretty amazed. Now, for all of these service things, let's talk a little bit about that. I happen to believe if you live by price, you die by price.
Sure.
And the only things that really make a difference is if your customer service is top notch, then you can go ahead and charge whatever the rate is. So you've got cars that you clean every 12 hours. You have 5 of these on the road. You can't pick up in Des Moines.
Can't. I can drop off
You
anywhere.
can drop off anybody in Des
But
Moines.
I cannot pick up inside the city.
Let me ask you this: if you pick me up in Urbandale and bring me into Des Moines, Hotel Fort Des Moines, for example, can I not call you back and have you pick me up?
No, you can't.
Really?
According to the city of Des Moines and city regulations, you're required to call a licensed vehicle inside the city limits of Des Moines.
I see.
Now, having said that, I will tell you that on occasion we do have customers that frequent us, and we can, according to the transportation permit, in a completely private vehicle, we can send one of our other ourself or one of our drivers to get you, but we can't charge you.
I see.
So if you're, one of the few, and we have a few, that, if we take you to the airport 3-4 times a week, 3-4 weeks out of a month, if you need a ride from downtown, I'm probably going to send a car out for you because I like your business. I want to earn your business, and I mostly want to keep it.
What have you any intention on attempting to get licensed in Des Moines?
We do. Mike Berry has been very, very gracious and very generous in information giving, and he has told me personally that when I'm ready to have everything put through, bring it to him, and he'll review with me. And he actually apparently is the last person that sees all the documentation before it goes to City Council. I regrettably can't tell you that we're probably going to file for a taxi license, and the reason for that is because I don't boast well on rejection, and so far the last half a dozen companies that have qualified and applied have been rejected by City Council.
That's
Now,
odd.
I used a permit company out of Dubuque when I started my coast-to-coast federal motor carrier service for the trucking, and they referred an attorney here in town to me. Unfortunately, they had already represented a different taxi company, and between them and quotes that they made from the city council meeting, I was pretty much assured that, it doesn't matter if the cows come home. I'm not going to have a taxi company in Des Moines.
Wow.
That they aren't going to be adding anytime soon.
Isn't that interesting?
And the sad part to me about that is that the service that is affected by that. Even certain employees of the city will tell you, if you think Des Moines has enough cabs, try and call one.
Our guest has been Christopher Bergman, ladies and gentlemen. He owns Cab Trans, and if you live in the suburbs, he can come to your place and pick you up and take you to the airport. Congratulations, by the way. I really admire somebody that goes out there and says, it's the way things are being done isn't the way it ought to be done, and I'm going to attempt to change that. So congratulations on this and on this stellar growth from 1 cab to 5 in just a little over a year, and your commitment to quality and service. I think those are some outstanding motivators and something that most business professionals ought to be listening to and paying attention to. Thanks, Chris, for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Chris Bergman, ladies and gentlemen, from Cab Trans. You want to go ahead and find them. They are on Facebook as well as the internet. You can check our blog. We've got a link directly to their site. Thanks so very much for being part of this day's adventure. This has been Insight on Business, powered by our advertising agency, Insight Advertising, Marketing, and Communications, and brought to us by FWRSA, tax and accounting professionals that will work hard for you until the cows come home. For all of us here at Insight Advertising, Marketing, and Communications and Webcast One Live, our producer, Ryan Northfield, we thank you for dropping by. We'll see you next week. And by the way, next week, this is going to be great. Our guests are going to be coming in talking about dressing for success. And because we're here in the financial district, we've got a real keen awareness about how some people, sadly, dress. And it's not looking too successful. That's next week on Insight on Business. Again, for all of us, have yourself a great day. Be safe, be well, be careful. Most of all, be good to your fellow man. Take care.